gardeners, welcome back to the Ultimate Gardening channel. My name is Emmanuel Arce, well known as the Ultimate Gardener. In today's exciting sprouting video, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys 5 tips on how to care for bulbs in containers. Fall season is approaching, so that means bulb planting is about to commence. And so I know a lot of gardeners recently have been talking about doing bulbs in containers, and right here I have a ton of gladiola bulbs in this container right here. And so I wanted to go over 5 main points I want you guys to know before bulb planting, so you guys could have a successful container full of flowering bulbs. So if you want to know every single point, please stay tuned with us. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 1 is watering. Watering plays a huge role in bulbs because bulbs are super picky when it comes to watering. Of course, it's also based on the bulb variety you choose, but gladiolas, like here and any other certain type of bulbs, one main thing gardeners struggle on is because they overwater. Bulbs like this tend to not like to have wet feet because it can cause their bulb to rot and not work at all. And so you don't want to overwater. And the trick I tell my followers is to check the soil. If the soil is moist, skip a day of watering. If the soil is dry, water that day. So that's a trick I like to tell my followers, and that usually works. And so now with that trick, you'll be able to have a successful bloom growth, and you won't have overwatering issues or underwatering issues. So let's go ahead and move on to point number 2. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 2 is sunlight exposure. A lot of gardeners need to know where their bulbs should be placed when it comes to container gardening, because of course you could stretch a little things when they're in containers because you can move them around in different areas. Gladiolas, which is the bulbs I have in this container, like to have full sun all day. But in this area in front of our house, we have 2 pots flanking the front of our house. And so they don't get the entire day of sun. Once it goes around 7 o'clock at the afternoon, they get shade. And so all in the morning, all the way into the beginning of the afternoon, they have a full sun blasted at them. But once it comes to the later afternoon, the sun starts to get tucked in and they start getting shade. But also read up the information of your bulbs, because if they say that it's a must to have sunlight, full sun, you have to place them in a full sun location. If your bulbs say it's a must in putting it in a shaded location, you have to go ahead and do that. Because if the gladiolas require full sun, I can't put them in a shaded location because they won't grow at all. So let's go ahead and move on to point number 3. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 3 is fertilizing. Fertilizing is a huge must when it comes to bulbs and containers, because the soil, there's nothing that supplements them with nutrients in the soil, so they need to have to be fed. So every single type of fertilizer is different. Some last longer, some last shorter. So reading up on the information, usually every single fertilizer lasts up to 1 month. And so once, of course, you have to read on the information on your fertilizer to see when is the next time you should fertilize. But the fertilizer I use is Spoma Organic. It usually lasts up to 1 month. So every month I have to be out here fertilizing it. And the growth is tremendously good. And you can see the outcome is proven right here. So you want to go ahead and make sure you fertilize once a month, or whenever the fertilizer says you have to fertilize again. So let's go ahead and move on to number 4. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 4 is choosing the right bulbs. Not all bulbs like to be planted in containers. For example, like dahlias do not like to be planted in bulbs, especially the dinner plate size or the cactus size. Those prefer to be planted out in the ground where they have more space and more freedom to grow, because in containers they're definitely restricted from growing as big as they wanted to. I know there's other varieties out there of dahlias that do like to be planted in containers, but once again, not all bulbs like to be planted in containers. Gladiolas is one of the best ones you can actually grow in containers because they do amazing, they do very good, and the flowers are very, very pretty. This is the first year I'm doing it, but I've been getting inspiration from other gardeners out there. But once again, you want to choose the right bulbs for containers. Always the carrier that holds the bulbs usually will tell you if the bulb could be planted in containers, because some of them don't like to be planted in containers. So let's go ahead and move on to the final 5th point. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 5 is choosing the bulb you know you're gonna keep with. I know when it comes to bulb containers, you might want to know that that bulb wasn't the right one to plant in a container for you, because usually you just want to experiment and see what is adjust it to your liking, and sometimes you might think this you might like, but when it comes out to the final product, you might not like it. And so when it comes to bulbs, I would recommend choosing bulbs that you would actually want to keep and plant out in the ground, because if you just buy bulbs and you don't end up liking them, there's a huge chance that's going to be a waste of bulbs and money going down the drain. And so you don't want that happening. And so you want to choose bulbs that you really love, that you know that if they won't work in containers, they would always be perfect planted out in the ground. So once again, choose the right bulb that you know you're gonna love in case comes worst and you want to plant them out in the ground. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video for you guys. So ultimate gardeners, that's gonna be it for this exciting sprouting video. Once again, in this entire video, I gave you guys 5 points that I recommend for bulb container gardening. I love container gardening. It's one of my favorite things to do. But when it comes to bulbs, there's a few things you need to take care of and a few things you need to know before you do it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to support my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notified when a new exciting spawning video comes out, just like this one, make sure to hit that bell notification button so you get notified when a new exciting spawning video comes out. Thank you all so much for watching, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye guys.